Have you ever felt completely overwhelmed by all the traditional business advice out there?
Oh, definitely.
It's like there's this endless quest for growth, this constant pressure to work longer hours, and just a never-ending parade of experts telling you exactly how you should be building your company.
Right. It can be exhausting.
Yeah, that feeling that you're always chasing some impossible metric, or maybe that you're just not doing enough.
It absolutely can be. And, often it feels like you're expected to follow this rigid playbook, even when your gut instinct, or maybe just common sense, tells you it might not be the right fit.
Not right for your vision, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Conventional wisdom so often prioritizes scale and, I guess, external validation over, say, sanity,
Exactly, yes.
or even the actual quality of the product you're creating.
Yeah.
It's almost as if the goal becomes simply to look successful rather than, be successful on your own terms.
And that's exactly why we're here today. Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're tearing down some of those conventional notions of building, running, and even growing a business. Our mission for you, our dedicated learner, is to extract the most important nuggets from a truly fascinating and deeply insightful book titled Rework.
Rework, yeah. It was written by Jason Fried and David Heineneier Hansen, the founders of a company that started as 37 Signals.
Now famously known as Basecamp.
That's the one. And what's so compelling about this book is that it's not some dry theoretical textbook filled with abstract business models.
No.
Not at all.
No.
Instead, it's grounded entirely in the very real, very successful experiences of their own company. It's basically a blueprint built from their lived reality.
And their story is just a perfect illustration of their, well, unconventional philosophy. They started way back in 1999, right?
1999.
Not as some venture-backed startup phenom, but as a small, just three-person web design consulting firm.
That's right. They're building websites for clients, but they kept running into the same problem.
Which?
They just weren't happy with any of the existing project management software on the market at the time.
Ah, okay. So what did they do?
Well, rather than waiting for someone else to build it or, trying to adapt to something clunky that didn't really fit,
They built their own.
they decided to build their own tool,
Yeah.
specifically designed for their needs.
And that tool, born out of necessity and that personal itch you mentioned,
Mhm.
that became Basecamp. And today, Basecamp isn't just some side project. It's a powerhouse.
It really is. It generates millions of dollars in profit every single year, proving that you don't need to follow the traditional path to achieve remarkable financial success.
Millions. And they didn't stop there, did they?
No, they also developed other incredibly popular and useful tools, like Highrise,
That's their contact manager, their CRM.
right, and Backpack for sort of intranet and knowledge sharing, and Campfire, their real-time business chat tool.
And maybe most famously, especially in the tech world, they invented an open-sourced Ruby on Rails,
Oh yes, Ruby on Rails, a
Yeah.
huge contribution.
the computer programming framework. For those maybe less familiar, Web 2.0 was essentially that big shift from static web pages to interactive user-generated content.
Right, think social media, blogging platforms, collaborative tools.
Exactly. And Ruby on Rails was a key enabler for so many of those early dynamic web applications. It fundamentally changed how web development happened.
It really did streamline things. But what's truly crucial about 37 Signals, though, is their almost countercultural identity, especially when Rework first came out.
Mhm.
As the book went to press, they were intentionally small, like just 16 people.
16, that's tiny for their impact.
Tiny, but incredibly frugal and remarkably profitable. This just stands in stark contrast to that common Silicon Valley mantra of grow at all costs.
Oh, absolutely. They actively rejected the idea of endless growth, right?
Completely. Rejected endless growth, a constant schedule of meetings, restricted budgets, the need for boards of directors.
Even typical advertising and salespeople.
Yeah, exactly. They carved their own path, and critics often just dismiss them as a fluke.
Yeah, these critics just couldn't wrap their heads around it. I mean, how could a company with, more than a dozen employees spread across 8 cities on 2 continents attract millions of customers without a single salesperson or an advertising budget? It just didn't compute for them.
Right. They were told you couldn't succeed without financial projections and those, 5-year plans.
Always the 5-year plan.
Always. They were told you needed a PR firm to get into major publications like Time, Business Week, Inc., or the New York Times.
And they were told you couldn't share your recipes, your secrets, and still withstand competition.
Or build products that do less than your competitions. That was a big one, too.
Guess what? Fried and Hansen proved them all demonstrably wrong.
And that's exactly what we're going to dive into today. Our mission for you, the listener, is to extract the most important nuggets from this deeply unconventional wisdom.
Yeah, this deep dive offers a kind of shortcut, maybe, to being well-informed about a fundamentally different way to approach business and work.
One that challenges the very foundations of how many of us have been taught to operate.
It's filled with surprising facts and insights that might just change how you think about getting things done.
And perhaps, how you define your own success. What we're looking at today isn't just theory, it's a blueprint.
A blueprint for simplifying, for focusing on what truly matters.
And for redefining success on your own terms.
The takedowns, dismantling old business myths.
All right, let's unpack this. We're going to start by challenging some really deeply ingrained beliefs about business.
Okay.
Beliefs that Rework argues are actually holding us back. Think of these as the sacred cows of traditional business.
Yeah, the sacred cows that this book is ready to send to the barn, as one reviewer put it.
Exactly. These are ideas that are so common, so accepted, that we rarely even stop to question them.
So where do we start?
Well, a powerful place to begin is with the phrase, ignore the real world.
Ooh, okay, that sounds provocative.
It is. But it isn't about escaping reality or becoming detached. It's more about recognizing how often that seemingly innocent phrase that would never work in the real world,
You hear that all the time.
is used not as a statement of fact, but really as an excuse for cynicism. It's like a verbal barrier designed to shut down innovation before it even gets a chance.
Right. It's the go-to phrase for pessimism.
It's so true. You hear it constantly. When someone floats a fresh idea, whether it's in a startup pitch, a corporate brainstorming session, or even just, talking about a new way of doing things.
And it's almost always uttered by people who are, well, filled with a kind of despair, right? They expect new concepts to fail.
Yeah, they assume society just isn't capable of change. And even worse, they want to drag others down with them.
Into their tomb of cynicism, as the book puts it.
Exactly. If you're hopeful and ambitious, they'll try to convince you your ideas are impossible just because they haven't seen it done before. They mistake their own limited experience for universal truth.
And 37 Signals themselves, they defied this directly. They are living proof that the real world, as defined by those naysayers, is often just a self-imposed limitation.
Right. They run a profitable company with employees spread across 8 cities, 2 continents.
Millions of customers, no salespeople, no traditional advertising.
And they even openly reveal their formula for success right here in this book, which directly contradicts the skeptics who said it couldn't possibly be done.
So for you, the learner, this is about recognizing when you're letting that external negativity define your possibilities.
Yeah, stop it from shutting down your innovation. That real world isn't some fixed place. It's often just an excuse for not trying.
For maintaining the comfortable status quo, the actual real world is full of people doing surprising, unconventional, and highly effective things.
Okay, now, this next point really challenges a widely celebrated idea in the business world, doesn't it?
Which one's that?
Learning from mistakes is overrated.
Ah, yes. That definitely pushes back against the common adage, fail early and fail often.
Seriously questioned in Rework.
It's a striking point they make, because while it's true that you might learn what not to do from mistakes, like don't ever launch a product without testing it first.
Sure, that seems useful.
It is, but you still don't inherently learn what to do. You don't learn what the successful path actually looks like just from knowing what doesn't work.
Okay, so success is the real teacher then.
Success, they contend, is the true teacher. When something succeeds, you have direct, actionable evidence of what worked. You can then analyze those successful actions, you can replicate them, and probably improve upon them the next time. Failure, in this light, isn't some prerequisite for success.
It's an outcome.
It's just an outcome, exactly, and one that doesn't inherently guide you toward the right action.
And they have data to back this up, which I found fascinating.
Yeah, the Harvard study.
Right. They cite a Harvard Business School study that found already successful entrepreneurs are far more likely to succeed again, like a 34% success rate for their future companies.
Which is pretty high in the startup world.
Very high. But here's the kicker. Entrepreneurs whose companies had previously failed had almost the same follow-on success rate as first-timers, only about 23%.
Wow. So failure didn't really give them much of an edge.
It strongly suggests that a history of failure doesn't necessarily make you more adept at future success. It just means you failed. The real leverage comes from understanding and repeating what actually works.
It truly is a powerful point, and the analogy they use is evolution.
Right.
Nature builds upon what worked, right? It doesn't dwell on past failures. Species adapt and thrive based on successful traits, not by reiterating on previous extinctions.
That makes sense.
So this means shifting your mindset, not just tolerating failure, but actively seeking and replicating what drives success.
So for you, the listener, this means focusing your energy on identifying and doubling down on what generates positive outcomes.
Rather than dissecting every single misstep, it's about building a portfolio of wins, no matter how small, and really understanding why they were wins.
Okay, let's talk about something that feels like the bedrock of business strategy. Planning.
Ah, the plan.
Rework drops a significant truth bomb on that one, declaring, quite bluntly, planning is guessing.
It's provocative, isn't it? And it might sound reckless at first, but it makes profound sense the deeper you dig.
Why? Why is it just guessing?
Well, long-term business plans are often presented as these concrete roadmaps, but they're closer to fantasies. There's simply too many unpredictable factors.
Like what?
Rapidly shifting market conditions, unexpected moves by competitors, changing customer behaviors, unforeseen economic downturns, or upturns.
Right, too many variables.
Exactly. Writing them down creates this illusion of control over things you simply cannot control. The author suggests we should just call plans what they really are, educated guesses at best.
Or pure speculation at worst.
Pretty much.
I appreciate that honesty, actually.
Yeah.
Business guesses, financial guesses, strategic guesses, it immediately lowers the stress level.
It does, and the big problem, they say, is that rigid plans are fundamentally inconsistent with improvisation.
And seizing new opportunities.
Right. In a fast-moving world, you have to be able to improvise, to pick up on opportunities that come along, and sometimes just say, you know what, we're going in a new direction because that's what makes sense today right now.
Yeah, sticking rigidly to a 6-month-old plan can just blind you to a golden opportunity right in front of you.
What's fascinating here is the timing problem they highlight. You have the most accurate, the most complete information when you're actively doing something, right?
Not before you start.
Exactly. Yet, plans are typically written before you even begin the work. That's arguably the worst possible time to make a big, unchangeable decision.
So what's the alternative?
A much more agile approach. Decide what to do this week, not this year. Break things down. Figure out the next most important immediate step.
And then take it.
And then take it, making decisions right before acting. This allows for constant course correction based on real-time data and insights.
They even suggest winging it in a smart way, like going on a trip without a full suitcase.
Right, buying necessities when you arrive. You pack the essentials, but you leave room for flexibility, for adaptation.
So for you, the listener, this is about recognizing that instead of getting stuck in endless planning paralysis, trying to foresee every single variable, You should identify the next most important actionable step and just take it. Get momentum, learn, and then iterate.
Next up is a question that challenges the very core of ambition for many businesses. Why grow?
Ooh, another big one.
The book argues that growth isn't always the goal. Finding the right size for your business and just staying there is a valid, often superior, and frankly, far more sustainable strategy.
This one truly hit me with its countercultural power.
Mm-hmm.
Society, especially in the business world, almost instinctively values bigger numbers, more employees, more revenue, bigger market share.
Bigger is better, right?
That's the assumption. And if you're small, it's often met with this sort of, oh, that's nice, or even a condescending nod instead of real admiration.
Right. But as Rework meticulously details, unchecked growth often comes with massive headaches.
Like what kind of headaches?
Premature hiring that burdens your finances and your culture, huge growth spurts that skip appropriate organic sizing, making it incredibly difficult to shrink later without painful layoffs.
Yeah, that sounds tough.
And a relentless increase in expenses, rent, IT infrastructure, furniture that drastically complicate the business. It can become like a house of cards, constantly needing more fuel just to sustain its size.
What's truly fascinating here is the paradox they point out. Small businesses often wish they were bigger, right? Always striving for that next level of scale. Yet at the same time, big businesses frequently dream about being more agile, more flexible, more nimble.
The very characteristics that define small businesses. It's ironic.
Totally. The authors compare this mindset to prestigious institutions like Harvard or Oxford.
Okay.
Their value, their prestige, isn't measured by continuous expansion year after year. Their value lies in their quality, their history, their focused excellence.
They found their right size for delivering their core mission, and they maintain it.
Exactly. So this prompts you, the learner, to deeply question that pervasive societal pressure for constant expansion.
And consider what a truly sustainable, healthy, and proud business looks like for you on your own terms, without all the external noise. Is bigger truly better? Or is better just better?
Okay, let's tackle a deeply ingrained cultural value, especially in demanding professional environments. Workaholism.
Ah, the badge of honor.
Rework is pretty scathing about it, arguing that working more isn't actually effective, it's counterproductive and unsustainable.
It truly is. Our culture, particularly in certain industries, celebrates burning the midnight oil, pulling all-nighters, sleeping at the office.
Like it's a sign of ultimate dedication.
Right, a badge of honor. But the authors assert this is not only unnecessary, but frankly, stupid.
Stupid.
Yeah. Working more hours doesn't inherently mean you care more or that you get more done. It just means you work more hours. Workaholism leads directly to burnout, to inelegant solutions, because you're throwing sheer hours at problems instead of thinking creatively and strategically.
Or creating crises just to solve them.
Exactly, creating artificial crises just so you can swoop in and feel like a hero for solving them. It's a self-perpetuating, unhealthy cycle.
And it has a corrosive effect on team morale, too.
Absolutely. It alienates those who work reasonable, productive hours, making them feel inadequate or less committed.
And the consequences. Skewed judgment, diminished creativity.
Fundamentally poor decision-making due to chronic fatigue and lack of perspective. And here's a genuinely surprising fact they drop.
What's that?
Workaholics don't actually accomplish more than non-workaholics.
Really?
Yeah. What they often do is waste time fixating on inconsequential details, spending endless hours polishing something that was already good enough.
Or just being inefficient because they're exhausted.
Exactly. The core insight. The real hero, in their eyes, is the one who figured out a faster, smarter way to get things done and is already home enjoying their life.
No, that's efficiency and effectiveness, not just endurance.
This encourages you to critically assess your own work habits and actively seek efficiency over brute force. Prioritize smart work over long hours.
Yeah, it's about recognizing that constant exhaustion isn't a sign of dedication. It's often a symptom of a flawed approach.
Or a poorly designed process. You're just throwing time at a problem that needs ingenuity and focus.
And finally, for our first section, a truly provocative one that might make some seasoned business folks squirm a bit.
Okay, let's hear it.
Enough with entrepreneurs.
Retire the term.
The book suggests we retire the term entrepreneur altogether and replace it with a much more inclusive and demystifying word, starters.
What's truly fascinating here is the psychological baggage that term entrepreneur carries. It's often seen as outdated, loaded.
Yeah, associated with high-stakes risk, fancy MBAs, a certain type of personality.
Right, it creates this almost exclusive members-only club, which ironically discourages everyday people from even considering starting their own businesses.
So starter is more accessible.
Exactly. The authors argue that a starter is simply anyone who does what they love on their own terms and gets paid for it. It strips away the pretense.
It makes the act of creation accessible. You don't need a specific degree, a fancy suit, or an above-average tolerance for risk.
You don't need to be a visionary or a disruptor with a capital D.
All you really need, they suggest, is an idea you care about, maybe a touch of confidence to take that first step.
And a simple push to get started. This is an aha moment for many, I think.
Yeah, it dramatically broadens the definition of who can build a successful venture.
Makes it accessible to anyone with a passion and a problem to solve, not just a select few in the traditional business world who fit some specific mold. It's about democratizing the act of creation.
The go-in-progress mindset, from idea to action.
Now that we've taken down some of those old myths that hold us back, let's shift gears. Let's talk about what Rework offers as a powerful go-in-progress mindset.
Okay, the action part.
Exactly. This section provides a clear roadmap for effective action. It focuses on getting started, building lean, and making continuous, tangible progress.
Where do we begin with that?
We begin with two incredibly powerful, intertwined ideas. Make a dent in the universe and scratch your own itch.
Find purpose and solve your own problems.
Pretty much. Find genuine purpose in your work by making a meaningful difference, even a small one. And the easiest, most authentic way to do that is often to solve a problem that you yourself are personally experiencing.
Okay, so making a dent, that sounds big.
It doesn't have to be. It isn't necessarily about curing cancer or launching rockets, though those are certainly dense.
Right.
It's about ensuring your efforts feel valuable, that your customers genuinely say, wow, this product or service truly makes my life better.
So it's about impact, however small.
Exactly. The book emphasizes the urgency of building a legacy and shaking things up now, not waiting for others, or for the perfect moment. Think about Craigslist.
Yeah, simple interface, huge impact.
Practically demolish the traditional classified ads industry with just a few dozen employees. Or consider the Drudge Report, one simple page, one guy.
Huge impact on news cycles.
Both had a monumental impact by providing value in an unconventional way. They didn't just join the market, they fundamentally changed it.
And the scratch your own itch concept, that's genius in its simplicity.
It really is. When you build something you personally want to use or a service you genuinely need,
You inherently understand the problem inside and out.
exactly, this deep personal connection removes so much guesswork. You don't need expensive focus groups or abstract market studies.
Because you are the target user.
Right. You're solving a problem for yourself, which means you're likely solving it for many others who share your predicament.
And we see this principle echoed in countless success stories.
Like who?
Well, 37 Signals creating High-Rise because they needed a better contact manager. James Dyson inventing the bagless vacuum because his own kept losing suction.
Vic Firth making better drumsticks for himself. Bill Bowerman creating Nike's waffle sole.
Even Mary Kay Wagner's personal use of her skincare products. It demonstrated their quality from the ground up.
What's truly fascinating here is how this approach aligns your work with genuine need and deep personal passion.
It makes the entire journey inherently more engaging and effective. You're not just building for some theoretical market segment.
You're solving a problem you genuinely care about for people like you. That passion translates.
Building on that, the book emphasizes a critical truth. Start making something.
Because no time is no excuse.
Exactly. Ideas, they argue, are cheap, they're plentiful. It's the execution that truly matters and creates value.
This one is a biggie for procrastinators, right? Or anyone who's ever had that brilliant idea that just fizzled out.
We all know that person who says, oh, I had the idea for eBay, if only I had acted.
Right, I'd be a billionaire. That logic, the authors argue, is not just pathetic, but fundamentally delusional.
It's what you do. The act of creation, the effort of execution, that's what truly matters.
They quote Stanley Kubrick's fantastic advice to aspiring filmmakers.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Get a camera and some film and make a movie of any kind at all.
Simple. Just start.
The most important thing is simply to begin. To take that first concrete step, stop talking about it, and start doing.
And as for the ubiquitous no time excuse, they deliver a powerful truth bomb there.
Which is?
There's almost always enough time if you spend it wisely and prioritize. You don't have to quit your day job immediately.
Right, instead of watching TV for an hour or two each night.
Dedicate that time, or even just half of it, to your idea. Small, consistent amounts of extra time add up to significant progress over weeks and months.
So what's their blunt assessment of the no time excuse?
Their blunt assessment is that most people who claim no time simply don't want it bad enough. They're using time as an ego-protecting excuse.
To avoid the discomfort of effort or the fear of failure?
Pretty much. The perfect time never arrives because life is always busy.
So the call to action for you, the listener, is clear and urgent. Start small, start now.
And truly, see if your enthusiasm for an idea is real enough to actually manifest into action.
Okay, next they challenge a prevailing wisdom in the startup world, especially today. Outside money is Plan Z.
Plan Z, not Plan A or B.
And alongside that, you need less than you think. They strongly advise avoiding outside funding whenever possible, unless you've literally exhausted every other option.
What's genuinely fascinating here are the very real, often overlooked pitfalls of outside money, particularly venture capital.
Such as?
Well, first, it almost always forces you to give up significant control and ownership of your vision.
Okay, loss of control.
What else? Second, it shifts your focus. Instead of obsessing over building an amazing product for your customers,
You're focused on the investors.
you become preoccupied with cashing out quickly to satisfy investors. Third, spending other people's money can become incredibly addictive.
Leading to lavish expenses, loss of financial discipline.
Right. It often leads to bad deals because you lack leverage, you feel desperate for the funds, and most critically, customers move down the totem pole.
Investors become the priority.
Exactly. Plus, the entire process of raising money is incredibly distracting. It pulls you away from the vital work of actually building something great. They call it an investment hangover. Vividly.
Huh. An investment hangover. I like that. So their message is incredibly empowering then.
Very. You probably need far less money than you imagine to start. This challenges common assumptions.
Like, do you really need 10 people or could 2 dedicated people do it?
Do you need $500,000 to launch, or could you bootstrap it with $5,000?
A big office or work from home, advertising or other ways to get noticed.
Right. They point to 37 Signals' own humble beginnings as proof. They launched their first product cheaply,
Shared office space, one server.
promoted online through their blog instead of advertising.
And the founder himself answered customer emails for years.
And everything worked out more than fine. It worked out spectacularly.
This approach genuinely empowers you to consider self-funding and lean operations as your default.
Not just a last resort. It minimizes risk, maximizes control, and ultimately makes business creation accessible without the often demanding constraints of venture capital.
Yeah, they really champion the idea of starting in your garage, your spare bedroom, or your local coffee shop.
proving that ingenuity and frugality can be more powerful than endless capital.
And speaking of planning, or maybe not planning, Rework argues quite emphatically that building to flip is building to flop.
Ah, the exit strategy obsession.
The core idea is to focus wholeheartedly on commitment, on building something sustainable, rather than constantly thinking about an exit strategy. A true, enduring business should be the real goal.
It's an incredibly astute observation, isn't it? They liken it to planning a breakup on a first date.
Which sounds utterly ridiculous in a personal context.
Totally. Yet, asking, what's your exit strategy? Early on in a business venture is distressingly common, especially in startup circles.
And the odds are terrible anyway, right?
The statistical odds of acquisition are tiny. Maybe 1 in 1,000, maybe 1 in 10,000. So focusing on acquisition means you're obsessing over potential buyers.
Not your actual customers, which is fundamentally the wrong priority.
Your customers are your lifeblood, not just a means to an exit.
And they highlight the profound flip regret, too.
Many who sell out, especially early on, eventually return to business, missing the very thing they gave away.
And often their next venture isn't as successful.
Right, because they gave up the passion and the vision that drove their initial success. Instead, they say, you need a commitment strategy.
Think about how to make your project grow and succeed long-term, how to make it endure.
Thrive for decades, not just a few years until some liquidity event. This encourages a deeper, more fulfilling long-term commitment to what you create.
Fostering a legacy rather than just a quick profit.
A truly powerful concept for maintaining agility is less mass.
Less mass, explain that.
It means staying small, staying lean, staying incredibly agile so you can change direction easily and rapidly.
It's a compelling metaphor. As a business grows, it inevitably accumulates mass.
What kind of mass?
Things like long-term contracts, excess staff, permanent decisions that become harder and harder to undo.
Endless meetings, thick bureaucratic processes.
Inventory, technology lock-ins, rigid roadmaps, stifling office politics, all this accumulated mass makes pivoting incredibly difficult. Almost impossible sometimes.
Yeah, huge organizations can take years just to enact a minor shift, caught in their own inertia.
Constantly talking instead of acting, endlessly meeting instead of doing.
But if you meticulously keep your mass low, if you consciously resist the urge to bloat and complicate,
you can change anything, often overnight.
right, you can change your entire business model, adapt your product, tweak your feature set, pivot your marketing message.
You can make mistakes and, more importantly, fix them quickly and cheaply.
Most profoundly, they argue, having less mass gives you the unparalleled ability to simply change your mind when new information or opportunities arise.
It's a powerful concept for anyone starting or growing something, emphasizing flexibility and responsiveness over rigid structures.
It's about being a speedboat, not an oil tanker.
Building on that idea of less, they suggest we embrace constraints.
Ah, limitations as advantages.
Exactly. View limitations, whether it's finite time, limited money, or a small team, not as disadvantages, but as distinct advantages that force creativity and relentlessly eliminate waste.
It's a completely counterintuitive approach, isn't it? We tend to complain about not having enough resources.
Feeling restricted by what we lack.
But Rework argues that limited resources force you to make do with precisely what you've got. There's no room for waste, and it often sparks remarkable creativity.
Like prisoners making tools from spoons.
Right. Or think about literature. Shakespeare thriving within the strict rules of sonnets. Haiku and limericks achieving impact through severe constraints.
Even Hemingway and Carver using stark, simple language for maximum emotional impact. Less is more.
And they give compelling business examples, too. Consider The Price is Right.
Its enduring success is built on that incredibly simple constraint. How much does this item cost?
Or Southwest Airlines achieving incredible efficiency by flying only Boeing 737s. Simplifies everything.
And 37 Signals itself faced plenty of early constraints.
Oh, yeah. Running a demanding design firm, that 7-hour time difference between principals, tiny team, no outside funding.
All of which forced Basecamp to be simple, focused, and incredibly effective.
And even today, they deliberately impose constraints, like assigning only 1 or 2 people per product, to actively avoid feature bloat and unnecessary complexity.
This powerful reframing transforms common frustrations into direct opportunities for innovation.
It urges you to creatively assess what you can do with what you have, rather than fixating on what you lack. It's a mindset shift.
And speaking of simplicity and focus, the book tells us to build half a product, not a half-assed product.
And start at the epicenter.
Okay, break that down. Don't try to do everything at once.
Instead, focus on doing fewer things, but doing them exceptionally well. Start with the core, indispensable element.
You simply can't do everything you want to do and do it well, especially not at the beginning. You have limited time, limited resources.
Limited ability, limited focus.
Yeah.
Trying to do 10 things well simultaneously is a recipe for mediocrity.
So they advise cutting your initial ambition in half.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
A kick-ass half.
Yeah.
A product that does 1 or 2 things brilliantly is always, always better than a half-assed whole that tries to do too much and does it all poorly.
They even did this with Rework itself, didn't they?
Yeah, the book was originally 57,000 words, but was deliberately cut down to a lean 27,000. They contend it's far better for that ruthless editing. The essence became stronger.
So what exactly is the epicenter then?
It's the absolute core of what you're selling, the single most essential element. The crucial question to ask yourself is, if I took this away, would what I'm selling still exist?
Would it still be viable?
Right. If you're opening a hot dog stand, the hot dog is the epicenter.
Okay.
All the wonderful condiments, ketchup, mustard, relish, they're secondary. You can take them away, and it's still a hot dog stand.
Wow. But without the hot dogs.
It's just a stand, lacking its fundamental purpose. This laser focus ensures you build a strong foundation first.
This principle provides an incredibly clear, actionable prioritization framework, helps you avoid scope creep.
And focus all your precious efforts on what truly defines your product or service. It's about being disciplined enough to say no to good ideas so you can say a resounding yes to the truly great, indispensable ones.
And finally, for this section, they insist that making the call is making progress.
Decisions.
Commit to making decisions and moving forward, even if they're not perfect. Don't wait endlessly for perfect solutions.
What's fascinating here is how decision paralysis can just utterly cripple momentum.
Yeah, postponing decisions, endlessly debating.
It leads to ever-growing piles of unresolved issues and stalled progress. It's like trying to build a wall but never laying a brick because you're waiting for the perfect one.
So each decision is a brick in the foundation.
Exactly. Each decision you make, no matter how small, is a brick in your foundation. You can't build on "we'll decide later," but you can absolutely build on "done."
Even if the decision turns out to be slightly imperfect.
It still provides a concrete starting point. They give the example of 37 Signal's own affiliate program.
Right, instead of waiting ages for a complex, perfect, cash-based system.
They started by offering a simpler credit-based payment system first. It was good enough to get started, to learn, to gain momentum.
And later, they implemented a more robust cash system.
Exactly. Decisions, they say, are inherently temporary. In a dynamic business, you can always correct mistakes later, provided they're not catastrophic.
And long, drawn-out projects without clear decisions just zap morale.
Drain energy. This empowers you, the listener, to take decisive action and build momentum, even with imperfect information.
Because getting something out there quickly fuels motivation and provides invaluable real-world feedback.
Productivity and efficiency hacks, working smarter, not harder.
All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty of how Rework suggests we actually get things done more efficiently and effectively.
Okay, the productivity hacks.
This section is packed with genuinely counterintuitive advice that really flies in the face of how many of us typically operate.
I'm ready. Let's hear them.
We'll start with two of the biggest ones, which are often the bane of modern office life. Interruption is the enemy of productivity, and meetings are toxic.
Oh boy. Toxic meetings, yeah.
The core idea here is that long stretches of uninterrupted alone time are absolutely crucial for deep, meaningful work.
And that most meetings, far from being productive, are usually just counterproductive time sinks.
Think about it from your own experience. When do you get most of your real focused work done?
Probably late at night or super early morning when it's quiet.
Exactly. When nobody else is around to tap you on the shoulder, those seemingly harmless taps, those impromptu chats, the constant pings from instant messages.
The endless email notifications.
They may seem collaborative, but the authors argue they are profoundly corrosive to productivity. Interruption is not collaboration. It's simply interruption.
Right. Each interruption breaks your workday into these fragmented work moments,
making it virtually impossible to get into a flow state and accomplish anything truly meaningful or complex. It's death by 1,000 cuts.
They advocate strongly for getting into what they call the alone zone.
The alone zone, like being offline on a plane.
Yeah, long, uninterrupted stretches of time where you are truly insulated from distractions. They compare it to REM sleep.
Okay, how so?
You need to get into that deep, sustained state for true cognitive processing. Any interruption forces you to start all over again, losing valuable time and mental energy just trying to pick up where you left off.
So what are some practical solutions they offer?
Implementing clear alone time rules within a team. Maybe a designated 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. no-talk period.
Okay.
Consciously shutting off instant messages, silencing phone calls, closing email for blocks of time.
Using passive communication like email over interruptive ones like phone calls or face-to-face chats.
Exactly. And then there are meetings. They call them toxic.
Why toxic? That's a strong word.
For incredibly good reasons, they argue.
Yeah.
Meetings are usually about words and abstracts, not about doing real things.
Okay.
They convey an abysmally small amount of information per minute of collective time spent. They drift off subject easily.
Require unprepared preparation. Include time wasters.
People scrambling right before to look ready, people who just want to hear themselves talk. Plus, they procreate.
Meetings lead to more meetings.
Inevitably. Leading to more meetings to discuss what was discussed in the previous meeting. It's a bureaucratic hydra.
And what's truly fascinating here, and often overlooked, is the true cost of meetings. A 1-hour meeting with 10 people isn't just 1 hour, it's a 10-hour meeting in terms of collective productivity.
Plus all the mental switching costs for everyone involved before and after.
It's often a liability, a drain on resources, not an asset.
So if you absolutely truly must meet.
They insist on sticking to incredibly strict rules.
Like what?
Set a timer and stick to it. Invite as few people as humanly possible. Have a crystal clear agenda.
Start with a very specific problem to solve. Ideally meet at the actual site of the problem.
And always end with a concrete solution and a clearly assigned responsibility.
These aren't just suggestions. They are highly actionable strategies designed to reclaim your focus, your time, and your sanity.
Next up, the book encourages a powerful pragmatism with good enough is fine and quick wins. It's all about seeking judo solutions, achieving maximum efficiency with minimum effort.
And building irresistible momentum with small, continuous victories.
So many people get caught in the trap of wanting to solve problems with overly complicated, elegant, or perfect solutions.
Right. But Rework argues for finding simpler, often mundane judo solutions that just get the job done effectively.
So maybe not flashy, but effective.
Exactly. This pragmatic approach might not earn you oohs and ahs for technical brilliance, but it lets you swiftly move forward. Think of political campaign ads.
Often low production quality, kind of grainy.
But they're timely, direct, and good enough to be effective. Their timeliness is often far more important than their polish.
And that leads right into quick wins, which is all about leveraging momentum.
Momentum, they argue, fuels motivation like nothing else. And you build it by getting something concrete done and then immediately moving to the next small success.
Nobody likes being stuck on an endless project with no finish line, right? Feeling like you're treading water.
Small, tangible victories provide an immediate jolt of momentum, energizing individuals and teams.
Their strategy is beautifully simple. Consistently ask, what can we realistically do in 2 weeks?
And then, without fail, do it. Release it. Get feedback and then repeat.
This iterative process energizes teams, delights customers,
And builds a sustainable rhythm of progress. It encourages continuous, tangible progress over that often paralyzing pursuit of unattainable perfection.
Next, we have 3 deeply practical, interconnected insights. Your estimates suck.
Brutal honesty.
Long lists don't get done and make tiny decisions. All 3 highlight the fundamental human flaw of being terrible estimators.
And advocate for breaking down tasks and decisions into tiny, manageable chunks to overcome this.
It's an inconvenient truth, isn't it? We consistently overestimate how quickly things will get done.
Seeing everything going according to some idealized best-case scenario, rarely accounting for the inevitable roadblocks.
Estimates that stretch weeks, months, or years into the future are, by their very nature, fantasies.
They cite famous examples like Boston's Big Dig Highway project.
5 years late, billions over budget.
Or the infamous Denver airport, 16 months late, $2 billion over budget. These aren't outliers. They're symptoms of a systemic failure to estimate realistically.
So the simple yet profound solution is break things down.
Break big things down into much smaller, more estimable chunks. Instead of one 12-week project, structure it as 12 individual one-week projects.
Break 30-hour tasks into manageable 6 to 10-hour chunks.
Makes them less daunting and more accurately estimable. And for those overwhelming, endless to-do lists that just collect dust and create guilt.
What's the advice there?
Brilliant advice. Instead of one list of 100 items, break it down into 10 lists of 10.
That immediately creates a sense of achievement as you tick off entire mini lists.
Provides that crucial motivation. It's the difference between feeling 1% done and 10% done.
And for prioritization, they recommend against numbers or labels.
Yeah, those can get unwieldy. Instead, prioritize visually. Simply put the single most important thing at the very top of your list.
When that one thing is done, the next item automatically becomes the most important.
So you only ever have one next most important thing to focus on, eliminating the paralysis of choice.
And make tiny decisions ties all of this together beautifully.
How so?
Big decisions are inherently hard to make, incredibly difficult to change once made, and often bring ego and pride into play.
Making it even harder to admit a mistake.
But tiny decisions are effectively temporary. They allow for rapid changes without big penalties or a sense of failure.
And they help you avoid committing to colossal mistakes. You can constantly adapt.
They draw a compelling analogy to the polar explorer Ben Saunders.
Right, who focused not on the overwhelming full journey, but simply on getting to that bit of ice a few yards in front of me.
This disciplined, tiny step approach allowed him to complete a truly monumental task.
These are highly practical tips for managing projects, tasks, and decision-making, designed to significantly reduce stress and dramatically increase actual completion rates.
Dealing with the outside world competitors and promotion.
Moving on, Rework offers a truly refreshing and incredibly insightful perspective on how to deal with the outside world, particularly competitors and promotion.
Okay, the external stuff.
They fundamentally challenge typical, often ineffective, marketing and competitive tactics.
It starts with a comprehensive approach to competition that's built on differentiation and self-focus.
The advice includes, don't copy, decommoditize your product, pick a fight.
Underdo your competition, and critically, who cares what they're doing?
Okay, that's a lot to unpack. What's the overarching idea?
Differentiate yourself fiercely. Infuse your unique you into your product. Pick a strategic fight where it makes sense.
And focus on doing less, but doing it exceptionally well.
Exactly. All while resolutely refusing to obsess over what your competitors are up to.
Don't copy seems crucial. Why is copying so bad?
Because copying skips understanding. When you merely copy, you miss all the invisible work, the countless iterations, the underlying reasons for the original's success.
You'll always be behind. Just a pale
A
imitation.
knockoff. Instead, they urge you to be influenced by others, learn from them, but never be a thief of their originality.
So how do you protect yourself from copycats?
Decommoditize your product. Make yourself your unique perspective, your values, your specific approach, an inseparable part of it.
Inject what's unique about the way you think, your philosophy, into what you sell.
Exactly. Think about Zappos' Tony Tsai and his legendary obsession with customer service.
Making new hires answer phones for weeks, no scripts.
Or Joel Salatin's Polyface Farm. He sells more than just chickens. He sells a way of thinking about sustainable farming, inviting visits, embodying a philosophy. They sell their unique approach.
Not just a commodity. Okay, then there's the audacious pick a fight.
Yeah. If you genuinely think a competitor sucks, or if you fundamentally disagree with their approach.
Say so, publicly.
Right. This isn't about petty attacks, but about drawing a clear line in the sand, differentiating yourself sharply.
And attracting superfans who wholeheartedly agree with your stance.
Think about Dunkin' Donuts mocking Starbucks' elaborate terms with their direct, no-nonsense coffee.
Or Audi challenging old luxury brands like Mercedes or BMW.
Apple famously jabbed at Microsoft 7UP as the Uncola. It creates conflict that people take sides on, grabs attention, forges loyalty.
Inversely, they say, underdo your competition.
Instead of getting into a feature arms race, constantly trying to outspec everyone.
Consciously decide to do less, but do that less exceptionally well.
Solve simple problems. Leave the hairy, complex ones to others. Consider the resurgence of fixed-gear bicycles.
Simpler, lighter, cheaper, less maintenance. They found a boom by doing a few things extremely well.
Or the incredibly successful flip camcorder. It intentionally features big screen, photos, tapes.
It won by doing one or two simple things, instant video, remarkably well and effortlessly.
And finally, their most radical suggestion regarding competition. Who cares what they're doing?
Just ignore them.
Pretty much. Obsessing over competitors, constantly checking their moves leads directly to stress, anxiety, and critically, it dilutes your own unique vision.
You become reactionary, constantly responding to their moves.
Instead of being truly visionary and leading with your own distinct ideas, you can't out-Apple by just copying them.
You need to redefine the rules of the game in your favor.
It's about focusing intensely on yourself, your customers, and what you deeply believe in, rather than getting caught in a never-ending, energy-draining race you can't win playing their game.
Now, on to promotion, where Rework offers an entirely different playbook than traditional marketing.
Yeah, this section is rich with counterintuitive advice.
Things like build an audience, out-teach your competition, emulate chefs, go behind the scenes.
Nobody likes plastic flowers. Drug dealers get it right. Marketing is not a department. And the myth of the overnight sensation.
Okay, wow. What's the core idea tying all that together?
Earn attention through valuable content, transparency, and authenticity, rather than simply buying it or chasing instant fleeting fame.
And marketing isn't just a department.
Right. Marketing, they argue, is intricately woven into everything your company does.
So build an audience is the foundation.
It's your true secret weapon. Instead of spending big bucks on expensive, unreliable advertising, you want people to come to you, freely and consistently.
Like 37 signals in their blog.
Exactly. Over 100,000 daily readers for their Signal versus Noise blog. This audience returns often on their own volition because they're genuinely interested.
It's attention you don't have to buy or force. They give it to you because you've earned their trust.
And once you have that audience, out-teach your competition.
Instead of outspending or outselling, teach.
Focus on teaching your audience everything you know. Share your expertise generously. This builds profound trust and loyalty in a way traditional marketing just can't.
Because it feels less like a sales pitch.
Right. Big companies often struggle with this secrecy, red tape, fear of giving away the secret sauce. But for smaller, agile companies, it's a massive advantage.
Think about Hofler Type Foundry teaching typography, or Gary Vaynerchuk teaching about wine.
They don't just sell products, they educate, empower, and engage.
This approach naturally leads to the idea of emulate chefs, like Emerald or Julia Childs sharing recipes.
Exactly. Share your recipes and processes for your business. Don't fear competition stealing your ideas.
Because your unique execution, your context, your passion, that's the real differentiator.
Cannot be copied. This book itself, Rework, is essentially their cookbook, openly sharing their principles.
Go behind the scenes is another powerful tactic. Why does that work?
People are inherently curious about how things are made, about the effort and thought that goes into a product or service.
Show the sweat and effort.
Yeah. It humanizes your company, builds a deeper level of understanding, appreciation, maybe even admiration. Think about shows like Deadliest Catch or Food Network's Unwrapped.
That transparency builds connection. And be real, right? Nobody likes plastic flowers.
Be relentlessly real. Don't be afraid to show your flaws, your imperfections. Imperfections are relatable, make you authentic.
Embrace wabi-sabi, that Japanese aesthetic.
Finding beauty in imperfection, transience, natural wear. Valuing character over a shiny, sterile facade, their advice. Pare down to the essence, but don't remove the poetry.
Talk like you really talk. Avoid stiff corporate jargon.
Use normal words. Read what you write aloud to ensure it sounds human. Be upfront about shortcomings. It builds trust.
They also debunk traditional PR pretty effectively. Press releases are spam, and forget about the Wall Street Journal.
Press releases, they argue, are generic, formulaic pitches hoping someone bites. Largely tired and ineffective.
So what's the alternative?
A more personal, direct approach. Call someone, write a genuine note, and most importantly, be remarkable in what you do so people want to write about you.
And don't aim for the biggest outlets right away.
Focus on niche trade publications, passionate bloggers, influential online communities. They're often hungry for fresh content and can generate direct, instant activity.
Then there's the provocatively named principle. Drug dealers get it right. What's that about?
The idea is simple. Give a little bit of your product away for free. Make it bite-sized, make it addictive.
Like bakery samples, car test drives, software trials.
Exactly. The confidence here is that a small, free taste of your amazing product will genuinely bring customers back for more because they've experienced the value firsthand.
Demonstrate value through experience, not just telling people about it.
This all rolls into one of the most transformative ideas in the book. Marketing is not a department.
Every interaction is marketing.
Every single interaction, no matter how small. How you answer the phone, the wording of your error messages, the clarity of your invoices, the thoughtful thank you note.
It's all marketing. The sum total of every impression, every experience.
It fundamentally broadens the scope of what marketing means, making it everyone's responsibility.
And finally, they dismantled the myth of the overnight sensation.
Right. True. Enduring success is almost always slow, measured, cumulative growth. Years of hard work, iteration, consistent effort.
The so-called overnight successes usually involve years of quiet grinding before their perceived sudden rise.
And those rapid bursts of fame rarely last because there's no deep foundation. Avoid expensive PR firms too early.
You need a compelling story, loyal customers, a solid history first.
Think about the long, slow growth of companies like Starbucks, Apple, Nike, Amazon, Google, Snapple. They grew over time organically.
Not from one big PR push. This comprehensive approach emphasizes building genuine relationships and long-term value over short-term buzz.
Building the right team and culture.
Okay, for our final deep dive into Rework, let's talk about building the right team and fostering a healthy, productive culture.
The people part.
This is an area where a lot of traditional companies get it profoundly wrong, and Rework offers some truly insightful, sometimes blunt, but always effective advice.
Indeed. The first set of principles for building your team are incredibly lean and strategic. Do it yourself first.
Okay.
Hire when it hurts, and pass on great people.
Pass on great people. That sounds counterintuitive.
It does. The core idea here is to truly understand the work before you hire for it, only hire out of genuine necessity, and actively resist the temptation to hire someone just because they're great if you don't actually need them right now.
Do it yourself first seems so smart. Why is that important?
Before you even think about hiring someone, try doing the job yourself for a while. That way you'll gain a genuine, first-hand understanding of the work.
What a job well done looks like, how much time it takes.
How to write a realistic job description. And more importantly, it makes you a much, much better manager because you've literally walked in their shoes.
You understand the nuances and challenges.
37 Signals is a great example. One founder did all customer support for 3 years before hiring someone. Another spent a summer setting up servers before hiring a sysadmin.
Ensures every hire is essential and management gets it.
And then hire when it hurts. Don't hire for pleasure or to build an empire. Hire only to kill sustained pain.
Only bring someone on when there's a persistent period of more work than you can handle and quality is demonstrably slipping.
It's about solving a real, urgent problem, not just expanding for expansion's sake. They even suggest that if you lose someone, don't rush to replace them.
Pause and see how long you can get by without them.
Yeah, you'll often find you don't need as many people as you thought, forcing greater efficiency, keeping the team lean.
And here's the most counterintuitive one. Pass on great people. Why pass on someone great?
Because companies can get addicted to hiring, constantly chasing impressive resumes, inventing positions just to lure in top talent.
But if they have nothing genuinely important or necessary to do,
It leads to artificial work, inflated costs, unnecessary organizational complexity. It's far, far worse to have people on staff doing nothing meaningful than it is to let a great catch get away.
if you don't have a clear, essential need right now, you don't need someone, no matter how impressive their resume.
Focus on the work, not just accumulating talent.
Building on core team dynamics, the book advises against the strangers at a cocktail party phenomenon
Ah, yes. The politeness problem.
and offers critical hiring principles. Forget about formal education. Ensure everybody works. Hire managers of one and hire great writers.
This emphasizes building an intimate, honest team that values practical skills, personal drive, and clear communication over traditional credentials.
So the cocktail party problem, that happens when you hire too fast.
When you hire a ton of people rapidly, especially chasing that growth metric, you almost inevitably create this environment where everyone is overly polite.
Avoids conflict, offers only appeasing conversations.
Right. True innovation and problem solving require an environment where everyone feels safe enough to be honest, to challenge ideas directly, offer genuine critique without fear,
So the advice is to hire slowly, meticulously.
to truly foster honesty, trust, and genuine productive critique.
What's truly fascinating here is their incredibly pragmatic stance on formal education.
They boldly dismiss the necessity of college degrees or specific GPAs as reliable indicators of talent.
Arguing many intelligent, capable people simply don't excel in traditional academia.
Right. And they point out that statistic, 90% of Fortune 500 CEOs did not get their undergrad degrees from Ivy Leagues. More came from University of Wisconsin than Harvard.
Wow.
They also contend that academic writing habits, often verbose and stiff, can actually be detrimental in business where clarity and directness are key.
So the pool of great candidates is much wider than just college grads.
Far wider and more diverse. And in a small, lean team, everybody works.
Everyone must be a producer, actively contributing, not merely a delegator.
Right. Actively avoid those who just tell others what to do or who create busy work and unnecessary meetings just to fill their own time. They are dead weight in an agile environment.
Instead, you want managers of one, people who set their own goals.
Manage their own tasks, execute without heavy direction or constant daily check-ins. They're the ones who consistently surprise you with their output.
And fundamentally free up management to focus on higher level strategy.
Look for people who have run something on their own, even small projects.
And a crucial, often overlooked point, hire great writers.
Regardless of the position, developer, support, marketer.
Prioritize hiring the best writer you can find. Why?
Because clear writing is the ultimate sign of clear thinking. Great writers know how to communicate complex ideas simply.
How to make things easy for others to understand, how to empathize, what to omit.
The unnecessary details that clutter communication. Writing, they emphatically state, is today's currency for good ideas. It's how ideas are conveyed, debated, executed.
This section truly challenges conventional hiring, provides specific, actionable traits to look for.
It's about building a team where every person pulls their weight and contributes meaningfully.
Finally, let's explore their insightful, human-centric approach to shaping a functional, trusting internal environment.
Okay, culture and environment.
You don't create a culture, Decisions are temporary, send people home at 5, don't scar on the first cut, and sound like you.
The core idea here is that a true, authentic culture is an organic byproduct of consistent behavior and trust.
Not artificial policies or superficial perks.
Right. You would actively foster an environment that values life outside of work and encourages transparent, authentic communication.
You don't create a culture is a powerful reframing. It's not about foosball tables or mission statements on the wall.
No. Culture is a natural byproduct of consistent actions taken over time. If you consistently encourage sharing information, sharing becomes part of your culture.
If you consistently reward trust and autonomy, trust will be built in.
It happens organically. It's not something you install like software, like a fine scotch. A true culture needs time, consistency, and genuine behavior to develop.
And embracing the principle that decisions are temporary is key to staying agile.
Absolutely. Don't waste time making up problems you don't have yet or endlessly optimizing for a future that might never arrive.
It's silly to worry if your concept will scale to 5,000 people when you're just starting with 5.
Instead, optimize for now. Make the best decision with the information you have today. Be ready to change if circumstances dictate. This agility is a massive advantage for small businesses.
Send people home at 5. Directly challenges workaholism.
Unapologetically, don't value employees who work 14-hour days. It almost invariably leads to lousy execution, burnout, resentment.
People with a rich life outside work are often more efficient at the office.
Precisely because they have somewhere else they genuinely want to be. You want busy people. People who care about more than one thing, as they are naturally forced to use their time wisely and prioritize ruthlessly.
It's about quality of hours, not quantity.
Don't star on the first cut is a crucial warning against overreaction and bureaucracy.
Policies are organizational scar tissue, overreactions to unlikely situations.
Exactly. Don't create a rigid, punitive policy that collectively punishes everyone for one person's isolated mistake. That's how bureaucracies sneak in, stifling creativity and trust.
Policies should only be for situations that genuinely come up over and over again.
Not as a knee-jerk reaction to an anomaly.
And finally, sound like you. Avoid stiff, formal corporate speak.
At all costs. This artificial mask of professionalism makes small companies look ridiculous and undermines direct, honest communication.
Instead, talk to customers, your team, partners, the way you would talk to friends.
Sincerely, directly, avoiding jargon, using normal human words, a great trick. Always read what you write aloud.
If it sounds unnatural or stiff, rewrite it until it sounds like a real person talking.
These principles together foster a truly humane, trusting, and efficient workplace, ensuring both peak productivity and genuine employee well-being.
So today, we've taken a really deep dive into the powerful and often provocative philosophy of rework, challenging those outdated notions of perpetual growth, rigid planning, the glorification of workaholism, and traditional expensive marketing tactics.
We've explored in detail how staying small, being frugal, and remaining incredibly agile can actually be far more powerful and sustainable.
And how focusing intently on authenticity, solving genuine problems, and making continuous small progress can lead to remarkable success entirely on your own terms.
For you, the learner, this isn't just about building a business, it's a profound shift in how you can approach any project, any challenge, any endeavor in your life.
Yeah, it's about being more intentional with your precious time, your finite resources, and your valuable focus.
It's about trusting your instincts and the unique value you provide, rather than just endlessly chasing external validation or those conventional, often misleading metrics.
And so consider this provocative thought to leave you with. If the real world is often just an excuse for pessimism and inaction, what seemingly impossible ideas are you holding back from?
Just because you're afraid to challenge the status quo.
And make your own undeniable dent in the universe.